Camera, action.
So Harsh, like I have a really interesting question that was bothering me for a while. I'll ask you that. Do you think we expect too much of our own potential or the idea of our own potential?
I think the nomad version of me would say no. Like if I was in the Stone Age, then I would say no. But since I am living in this age, I will definitely say yes. Because I feel there is too much stimulation online nowadays. Like you see too many people doing too many things, right? And I think that is one of the factors which has become this major influence on a human that oh, he's a parent person is doing XYZ things. I should also be doing this, right? I mean, there's no necessity for you to be doing that.
And I
But
think
then,
as
if subconsciously
yeah,
things keep feeding into your head, then
and I think it's more of like it has become a checklist rather than something that you really want to do. Because to be burdened by your own ambition and everything is fun. It is great. It is a great part of being like in our age, especially like 20 to 30 age bracket. But the fact that we're only doing it one to keep ourselves busy and not actually being productive and being happy on where we are. So I think it is more of a checklist rather than that we are actually busy. We're actually busy working on something, actually working on our own happiness and building a life. But it is becoming like a checklist. And rather than having a set goal about something which you slowly achieve over a long period of time, it is something that we want to achieve right now. So we are narrowing our ambition, narrowing our potential. A potential is not something that you associate with like 2 years, 3 years potential. It is like a lifetime long potential. And right now we are all we haste a lot in all of these things.
I think the haste is also because of the culture आजकल. मतलब I feel like if I really go to a person and if I ask them what are you passionate about, a simple question like that, what are you passionate about, I feel like their answer will be based off of things that are not true.
Correct, yeah.
Because you really don't know, in this age you don't know what you really want and what is this whole construct that society has created that you want that.
Yeah.
And then eventually you are like, no, maybe I do want it, but do you want
Yeah.
it? Like, and unless that comes, like that is the basis for potential, right? Your passion is your basis for potential. If you're really passionate about something, then that is your potential. Like it's like infinite.
Right.
Then you can do whatever you want to do in that. But the root cause is people want to do everything. They want to do it fast. They want to do it just like you said, like a checklist.
Like a checklist. And I think in an interview, J. Cole also once said, like, if you want something, delay it as much as you can. And if you still want it at the end of the delay, that means you really actually want it.
Yeah.
And that will continue for a life. For example, if we, like, in any situation, we say we want this job really bad. But the idea behind, like, why do we want that job? It has to be clear from day one, and it has to be the same throughout the whole application process, the whole actually working on it. Because if we don't, we'll end up hating that job anyhow.
Yeah.
Because we don't know why we're there, why are we doing this? We don't want that. We realize that later on, like after 5-6 months. But initially, like when we're picking a career, also as teenagers, also these days people just rush into it. Like they decide, pick a thing and start working on it. They don't sit with it for like 3-4 months. For example, when we are in like early 10th grade, 12th grade, we don't sit with like what you want to do. We start exploring options, and so that continues in every field of our life. Like whether it is passionate, whether it is something we are passionate about. Well, we can say photography also. We can just initially just feel that rush of thing that comes in the initial phase of whatever we're doing, and it happens with everything: relationships, people, traveling also. Like the first 3 months are amazing, like you are traveling, meeting new people, and then it settles in, and you start thinking about it. What do you want? Why are you here? And all those sorts of questions, most people don't reach that phase at all.
Yeah.
They just pick one thing after another, one thing after another. And there is one thing being multi-passionate, and there is one thing just trying it out, just doing it because you have to keep yourself busy. What do you think about the multi-passionate aspect of it? Because potential is obviously not related to just one thing that you want to achieve in life. Because sometimes we are confused about our potential. Like we think that it is just in one field, and for the next 20 years we have to take a decision right now. But most of the people like us, we are we're exploring options. We sit with it, but we also explore options. So how do you think that fits in with the whole idea of potential and multi-passionate thing, because it is so diverse. We are all scattered thoughts.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
It's crazy that I'm thinking about this constantly and actively, like at this point in time, and I'm just sitting here recording this podcast, which is like, I don't know, it's synced in the right way, but I am doing multiple things at the same time, right? And there is potential in each of it.
Correct.
For example, whether it be running a hostel, whether it be running an experiences business, whether it be doing a full-time job, which is completely different from what this is. But these are, like, for me, too many things that I'm doing at the same time, and everything's moving fast. Like industries everywhere move fast.
Right.
Right. It's not slow, but the thing is, that kind of person I am is a very intricately, like a very slow person. I want things to happen on its own pace, and at its natural pace things should unfold, and I don't like the haste culture at all.
Right.
So in my mind there is this constant dilemma of whether a human should be just so passionate about one thing in life and then achieve it to full potential. Because if you say potential, then you need to give it your all, right? Right, reach its potential.
Precisely.
And how do you do it with multiple things? I don't know. Even if there is a way to do it with multiple things, then you probably need to have that kind of energy, that kind of...
Then again, it contradicts with the idea of slow life, because when your mind is constantly diverted between like multiple things, you slowly forget the idea of what slow was. So how do you tackle on dealing with it? Because as of now, like as the audience also, I think most of them know that there are a lot of things that we as a group are doing. Like individually, we are maybe we're doing jobs, we're doing applications abroad, we're studying. At the same time, we are doing these filmmaking projects, we are running Quatre, and you're running Quester, you're running Kudrat. So a lot of these things. And even though we preach the idea of a slow living, a slow life, and whatever we do actually resonates with it as well, and people also see that. So, but in our own heart, how do you feel about that? Like a lot of things are happening around us, and especially the last 6 months, 6 months. So what is it that you feel on the inside right now compared to what you did before you began all of that? Like, of course, you were doing a lot of things before, but right now, what does the pace feel like to you?
I feel like people will be looking for okay, this is the happiest I've ever been, but that's not true. I've been unhappy for a lot of time now, and it's like inside only you're like unhappy. Like on the front you will be like, okay, this is great, you're doing so many things, things are unfolding, and maybe you're happy in that moment, or maybe you're happy for little things in life, but I feel like that sadness within has settled only. And I don't say it just to romanticize the idea of being sad, but if anybody comes to me and asks me, are you really happy, I always answer, I'm not. I've not been happy for a lot of years now, and there might be multiple reasons to it. Like you said, there might be the relationship angle to it. Maybe I did not achieve my full potential in the last one. Maybe that's always a thought, and maybe I'm just doing all of this to fill that gap up.
Yeah, right.
It could be that.
I think that is very true, because I think sometimes we also fall under our own false narrative that we are doing everything in our power to achieve something, while we are not actually, there is no goal. Like what was this film, Fight Club? In Fight Club, there is a false narrative in his own head that he's talking to. Similarly, we have a false narrative because we want to be involved in something other than any X or Y reason which we want to avoid. We're not deliberately avoiding it. Maybe we had time to process it, we sat with it. Even the idea of not, for example, we are 26, 27, as our years approach, there are certain things we cannot do again anymore. No matter how much anybody preaches that there is no age for anything, there are certain things that you lose interest over, that you were passionate about once, and that will always kill you. And that will only grow in time, because as we progress through life, there are a lot of things that we will miss. Like there were 10 opportunities, we only grabbed 4. And as a multi-passionate, it will bug you that you could not even try it out all those things. And potential is directly related to it, because when let's just say we talked about, the potential is very diverse in a lot of things. And if there is potential in everything, what is your potential? Like how does your potential change according to what you have around you. For example, if I'm working in a job and I love that job, do I see my potential only in that job? Or do I explore other things and see, oh wait, I have potential in there as well? So this kind of chaos that we have around, there is always going to be a dilemma around whether we're doing it because we want to explore and we are multi-passionate, or we are just escaping something. And I think this is one of the life mysteries which we only can see when we have achieved everything, when we have lived the whole life. We can only see it backwards.
Yeah.
We cannot foresee like what is going to happen and why are we doing this. It will only make sense when we have reached the end of the tunnel, end of the bridge.
Correct. And since we are speaking about potential, मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है that this whole idea of, okay, do I have the potential to do this, is in itself we should question that.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have the idea? Like, why can't everything settle here and then you move on to this and let it be here only? Like, why do you want to go to the potential itself? Do you want to do that? Like, either you decide that you want to take something to its maximum potential, or you decide you want to take multiple things to some sort of a decent average potential.
Yeah, the lifelong question of like master of none, jack of all trades, or just being a master of something superficial. And I think Tushar also asked me the same question very recently, that at what point do we draw the line that, okay, we're not going to chase this for an entire lifetime because I'm satisfied and happy with where I am. Because again, reaching our potential is something that has been curated in our own heads.
You don't draw that line, I feel like. Somebody has already drawn that line. You just realize at that point. Or maybe you don't have the energy to do it only. I feel like most people don't take things to potential because they've lost the energy that they initially started with.
Then what do you think? Like, what is the most ideal, respectable way to get out of this game that we call? But do we retire from the game, or do we leave the game?
I tell you, bro, I think about retiring from the game every single day. I wake up and I'm like, I want to retire from everything that I'm doing. Like,
what was that thing? Leave the game before the game leaves you.
Yeah, bro, leave the game before. There is this great feeling in whenever I think about it, I keep romanticizing this also. My retirement, like how would I leave everything and just fuck it, man. Like, can I say that on camera?
You can always beep that out.
But yeah, romanticize that leaving part a lot, more than doing a lot of things.
Yeah, I wonder how it would be like at the top. Not at the top, but just at the top of where you are satisfied, fulfilled, and you actually just leave the game and you start seeing the life backwards. Because all of your life, the whole 60-50 years of your life, it won't make sense.
Yeah.
But then one day you start looking at your life towards like on the reverse action on the backward side, and then every single dot will connect. And right now no dots are connecting because we're moving forward and we don't know which is the next dot we're going to attach ourselves to. But moving backwards, it will all make sense. So do we...
In your recent past, is there anything that you feel like you did the max to that and then you left it?
The max? I don't think I've done max in anything. That is the problem, I think. I believe when I start something, I feel like, oh, I'm going to do this with my full potential. And as we reach towards a point where I am comfortable and happy, there is a huge time frame, like 50% of the time frame from zero to end, 50% of the time I'm comfortable. So the first 30% is a struggle, like complete struggle to get comfortable.
Yeah.
Once you get comfortable, it is like very hard to get out of that comfort zone. But then one day it hits you that you have to get out of that. And once you get out of that, there is always something waiting at the end of it.
Yeah.
And you can never accept that this is the end. Because right now, like for example, if I want to pursue photography full time, and I'm comfortable in my job, which is entirely different, it's in tech. So there has to be a point like this. I think this whole next 5-6 months are those pivotal moments where I'm out of the comfort zone. And now if I'm out of the comfort zone, I don't feel like going back to that comfort zone in the same niche again. So the idea of potential, the idea of what is my potential changes all over again. And I think that is a key impact as well. We should also talk about change. Like when we say we have full potential or not, when we say we have a set goal, how often will it change? Because
Which changes every day, bhai.
So there is no. So potential is a delta.
Potential is definitely a
Potential
delta.
delta.
It is delta, and it is approaching infinity at the same time. And I think that is giving the pressure. There's a pressure quotient to it. Like there is this
Let's call
insane
it Q.
pressure.
Let's call it Q.
Let's call it Q. There's this insane pressure quotient to it that keeps, building this insane dilemma in your head of you want to go there, but there's something pulling you down always.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, there's this another thing which I'm really interested about in doing. So I as well go there, right? So there's just too many things happen. It is nice to know that people, like, you are also going through the same thing. I'm also going through the same thing, and we are talking about it.
And I think that is the main thing that people lack these days as well. Like, we're going off topic, but again, people lack the sense of community. Like, community used to be something where you can openly talk about things, and it is not just live music. It is not just jamming. It is more about knowing that you're not alone in this world. And like, just imagine that there are a billion people on this earth, and there cannot be billion unique experiences.
Yeah.
There has to be a pattern around all of it, and we are not seeing it.
Yeah.
And because in our own agony, in our own struggles, we isolate ourselves a lot. We start thinking that we are alone in this, and then there is this one famous line by NF: if you wake up every morning and look in the mirror and say that you're never going to be great, you'll never be great.
Yeah.
And that is the feeling that being isolating for yourself from the audience, from the people around you gives to you. And you get further and further away from the idea of potential life, and because you're so lost. Being lost is okay, but doubting yourself about it and detaching yourself from the whole process of it, I think that is where we lose the battle.
Detachment, bro. I think that's the answer to
Yeah.
everything. I feel like if you detach yourself, then you don't think about potential, then you don't think about passion. You just do it like a labor, like a robot maybe.
So
And you don't put any thought to it. You don't feel anything.
So being nonchalant towards passion.
Being
No, not
nonchalant-
passion also, potential.
Yeah, potential.
Be chalant as fuck with your potential,
Yeah.
passion, everything. No, wait, I mixed it up. It's chalant as fuck with your passion and whatever you want to do, but very nonchalant towards the end result and the potential that you are trying to achieve.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that is the
I think detach from that end result.
end result, yeah. I think that is the key takeaway from all of this that you talked about till now.
Detach yourself from everything in life. Is the-
No, I won't
is the
recommend that.
key takeaway.
I will definitely not recommend that. But definitely detach yourself from the end result and the whole idea of that you are ever going to achieve something. I think we should start with the base idea that we're never going to achieve anything.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing to achieve.
And whatever happens.
Happens.
Itna bhi hua to
Yeah,
it happens.
because the whole of life is experience, and if you take that experience away and replace it with potential, end results, goals, I think you'll always be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should just cheers. Click new. A Sad Man's podcast with Hardly Harsh and not Karthik.
Potential, guys. Potential.
Even if you don't reach your potential, reach Kudrat. Adios.
See, इसमें भी too many things. इनमें नाव भी होना है.
Good है भाई. Huh?